Alright guys, here we are in Photoshop with the picture. The amount of time that I would spend on doing something to myself is a whole nother tutorial. I would make my boobs bigger, I'd make my belly smaller, my booty smaller, my hair bigger, highlight my hair, get rid of the bags, whiten my teeth. I'm not gonna lie, I would do a lot. So this is me in all my glory with nothing done. The final image might look a little different. But I'm not going to do that right now. I would also, my son's burned face started peeling, and so it's all splotchy. He's a little red under the eyes. I'm not going to do any of that right now. Maybe later. But like I said, I am a huge actions person. So here are all my actions over here. And I just recently got the, what are they? The Three Nails photography, and I really like them. Really like them. So I've kind of created what I like to do with these. For these pictures, I'm using about the same thing every time. Here is his Ain't No Sunshine foundation, so I'll play that real quick. I wish I could give you guys more specific instructions about what I do in Photoshop to help with the skies. But I have just, for me, and maybe it's just a lack of knowledge, playing actions is what works for me. My computer is slow. I do apologize. One thing I have noticed about with these beach pictures, since it's reducing the noise in this action, because I did have to underexpose the people to make sure to preserve the sky. When I brought the people back up, our family back up in exposure, it did create a bit of noise. So I do like that this action does reduce the noise. So just something to keep in mind. Another thing this action does is that it does a couple of different sharpening steps. I don't like it. I think it sharpens it too much. And I don't like how it applies it to the whole image, so I turn those layers off. I like my own sharpening action. It's nothing special. It's Anya E. Shared it years ago on SPC, and I've just kept it. I don't even remember what it is right now. I've created an action for it. And I usually reduce that one quite a bit too. So, still just waiting on this action. I don't know if it's running so slow because I'm recording too. It's usually not this slow. I've done a lot of rambling. I hope it's not too much. Alrighty. So there we go. As you can see, it saturated it up quite a bit, which I actually like. What I try to describe my pictures as are bright and and kind of soft. It's a little too much for my liking. First thing I'm going to do is go in and turn those sharpening actions off, or sharpening layers off. And then I'm going to also One thing that I've been messing up on are my vignettes. They've been way too heavy for my liking even. I haven't fixed them. Um, so I'm going to turn the vignette off in this action because I'm going to use another one, another action that has a vignette that I like better. So I'm going to bring this down probably to about 50. So I like it right there. That looks good. Alright, as you can see, that added a little bit more drama to the sky. I'm going to flatten that. Alrighty. And then another one of his actions, the 3 nail photography actions I used was happenstance. Um, it does give it a little bit of a vintagey kind of sort of feel, but I liked the way it brightened it. And I don't use it but about 20%. So, and it warmed it up a little bit. It's at 70% right now. I'm going to bring it down to about 20. It just brightens it up even a little bit more. Gives it a little bit of a warm feeling. I liked it. So flatten that. And then he has these, what he calls painterly actions, and I love them. It adds according to him, just that painted effect. I don't know if I would necessarily say it looks painted. It just just gives it something. So I'm using the subtle one, and it usually does it at 100%, and I lower it too. And that's gonna also add some more drama to the sky. So you see how it softens it, brightens it. It does warm it. That's at 100%, a little bit too much. So that's at 50. I like it at 50. Flatten that. Alrighty. The other action that I use on every single one of my images is the Nicole Van ColourPop Gentle. I've got it up here in my default actions because it's just easier to find. And so I use it in every single one of my images. And this is the one with the vignette that I like. It just gives it a little bit more pop. That's too much pop, especially with the other action that I used on the very beginning. So I'll just, I usually use it at about 40. I'm going to go with 30 right now. I will say all of this that I'm doing, I understand it's really messing up my skin tones, so I tend to go in and fix that. I'm flattening this image now through selective color or color balance. Alright, so that looks good to me. I would stop there, but another one I tend to always use is the Florabella Pastel Haze. It gives it that softness that I'm looking for. That's typically too much at 80%. So I lower it and just increase it. I mean, I can increase this one anywhere from 10% to 80%. Let's see here. I like it at 30. It takes a little bit of the drama away from the sky because it's lightening and softening it, but I'm okay with that. Alrighty, so I also really like what this image does to skin tones. Okay, so there would be at least probably where I would stop with actions. Checking my numbers, 31, 20, looks pretty good, looks pretty good. Of course, where there's redness and stuff, I would go in and fix that. What I do tend to do, all of these actions tend to add a lot of red. So I would go to my reds and selective color and add some blues or some cyanides. You hear my kids screaming. My husband's supposed to be. um, but anyway, so there's some reds. Let's see. It's already fixing it how I like it. So it's just very subtle. Maybe add a little bit more blues. Doing this also cools it down a little bit, but just in the reds. So I kind of like that. The one thing I don't like, and this is just preference, I hate playing with magentas. Because I hate decreasing magentas because then it makes the skin look so green to me. Does anybody else have that issue? I hate green skin. I'll sometimes play with the blacks too. That tends to increase contrast, decrease contrast. So let's see here. So that, see, I don't like what it did to the, okay. And this is, again, this is just the image that I'm playing with. So I like that. Let me check my numbers again. They're still looking good. I'm not a huge numbers person. See, like his skin right here on his forehead's it's too much, but I would just go in and selectively fix that. But that's it. So as you can see, let me see, I'll save this file. Save as. Usually save as copy. And I'll go back into Lightroom. I'll import this just so we can see the absolute beginning. And the actual end product. Again, I would spend quite a bit more time fixing myself. And the specific colors that are messed up in my son's skin. Ever since I updated to Mavericks, it makes me do all this instead of it just being automatically. Those are all the ones I've worked on. See how that vignette is right there? Too much, don't like it. Vignette, too much, don't like it. But I'm not going to fix it either. I'm going to uncheck all and just bring in the one I just worked on. There it is. Alrighty. So now I'm going to go to Beach Lightroom. Shoot. Okay, that's not working. Sorry. I'll go to Bridge. Well, anyway. Okay, we'll just stop here. So there's the